Hello everybody. I have two cases here. The first case is a woman age 71 suffering from sinusitis, chronic sinusitis. She had a CT and they saw that the maxillary sinuses are okay. It's just the frontal sinuses. She suffers from a headache in the area, and besides, she also suffers from postnasal drip. She feels very tired in the past few months. She also has hypothyroidism, but for a long time, and she also suffers from rheumatoid arthritis. But she came to me because of the sinusitis. Okay, so the pulse, her lungs and her spleen were very, very weak. So I decided that that's the root of the problem. I want to tonify the lungs. I want to tonify the spleen. So to tonify the spleen, I used points that sometimes I use when there's spleen Qi deficiency. They're not points that go straight to the spleen. I use 77, 17, and 18. So these points are points of the kidney in Masadong acupuncture. They could tonify the kidneys. And we know that the basis of kidneys, of spleen, is kidney yang. So we need the yang of the kidneys to support the spleen. And I also added, it's a Dharma that I use, I add spleen 9. Spleen 9, so it's 3 points that I use to tonify the spleen. I use it a lot when I'm treating allergies or sinus issues or rhinitis, all kind of upper respiratory conditions that I see that there is a weakness of the spleen in the background. Another reason for using this Dharma group is in this group we have 7718, and 7718 is a point that corresponds to Mingmen. It's called Shengguan, and it's good. It's imaging the area of Mingmen. So I see this point as also tonifying kidney yang, and we know kidney yang is also the basis for Wei Qi, because Wei Qi is yang. And so the basis of yang in the body is the kidneys. So we, like in TCM, a lot of times we do moxa on GV4 to tonify the Wei Qi. So I use these 3 points to tonify the kidneys that will help to tonify the spleen and tonify the Wei Qi. I also use SIMA 88, 17, 18 and 19, 3 points, major points on the Masadong acupuncture to influence the lungs, to tonify the lungs, and also they have a big influence on the upper respiratory. They could treat the nose, they could treat the throat. So I use these points also to address the sinus, and they also have major points to treat sinusitis. Okay, I added if these 2 groups points are treating the root, and I added points to treat the symptoms. I added Sanjin, 3 points that are like a Dharma of lung 5. The first point is half a tsun above lung 5, and then I'm over one tsun above lung 5, and then I'm over half a tsun and a half a tsun. Okay, these 3 points also very good for sinus issues and rhinitis and postnasal drip. So they're very good. I added also Lingu. That's also a very good point to treat sinus issues and rhinitis. So the last thing I did is bloodletting on the frontal area. I did bloodletting on 10-10-9. That's above half a tsun above bladder 2. 10-10-10. That's half a tsun above Yuyao point, the extra point, and the other extra point is 10-10-11. That's half a tsun above Gobla 11123. So I did bloodletting on this area, and after the first treatment she felt a very big improvement. I continued to do another 8 treatments, And on the ninth treatment, she felt much, much better. She didn't have a headache, and what was left was the post-nasal drip. All the time she had this phlegm coming, not only post-nasal, also coming out of the front of the nose. And so I decided, because I didn't see a great improvement, I took the pulse again, and I noticed that her heart was very weak. So I decided maybe I should add heart points to the prescription. So I added 8801 and 8802. And I added another point, 6601. 6601, 8801, and 8802 are major points in Maso-Dong acupuncture to treat the heart. So I was like just treating the heart in a general way. And I also added 6601. That's also a point that has innervation of the heart. And it's a point that treats vaginal discharge or abnormal bleeding between periods. What's special is a point that could treat something that is being secreted, like phlegm, vaginal discharge from the body. I said maybe this point we also could use it for rhinitis. So it's just like, okay, why not? I wanted points that influence the heart, so I try to use these 2 points. And she came back and she said, wow, a very big improvement. I feel that it's like better, 50% better. I did 1 more treatment. And then most of the time after 9, 11 treatments, I do a break. I don't like to do too much, continue doing the same treatment all the time, because the body sometimes gets used to it, and used to the acupuncture, and it stops to influence. And also from my experience, sometimes when you do a break, you don't see a regression in the condition. A lot of times you see even the improvement continuing. So all the time I do like 10 treatments or 6 treatments, and then I do a break for like 2 or 3 weeks. So after 2 or 3 weeks, she came to me, and she said that the frontal headaches did not return, but the post-nasal drip, the drip and the rhinitis is continuing. So I did another 3 more treatments using the second approach, using points of the heart to treat. And after 3 treatments, she felt like 90% better, and we stopped the treatment. So the second case is a woman age 51, and she came to me. She had a lot of things she wanted me to treat, and the first, she came because she had very, very bad allergies. Her nose was blocked, she couldn't breathe, and she was also teaching in the same time, teaching in Zoom. She's a teacher, and it was very hard for her to teach. Besides that, she also was suffering from diabetes that were discovered just in the last few months. She also has Hashimoto, and she's in a HIPO, and she had her spleen removed because she had ITP. And before she came to me, she also had an operation on a big toe. But the reason she came to me is for the diabetes. She also had hot flashes. So she came for a lot of things to be treated. So at the beginning, I tried to treat everything together. And I did the treatment that I use to when I treat allergies. Very similar to the first case that I just showed you before. And then I also added points to treat the diabetes. I added the lower 3 emperors and PE and PL. These are 2 points that are very good for diabetes. It's very surprising that after I think after, just 1 second, after the 6th treatment, she did a blood test again, the A1C, and her A1C was 6. So it was very surprising that there was a big improvement in the diabetes. I don't know if it was because of the treatment, but that was great that we put that aside. And but there was no improvement on the allergy, even though that I was doing this treatment that I've done to her in the past. I was doing very similar to the first case. I don't want to go over all the points again, but I was doing the same thing, and there was no improvement, nothing. So I decided to change my strategy, and I started after the first case. I said, well, maybe there is a relationship between the heart and the nose, because first of all, the heart and the nose are in the center of the body. It's like we know in Master Dong acupuncture, a lot of points that influence the heart could also influence the stomach, or points that influence the stomach influence the heart. Like in the middle finger, we have Hoshing Shang and Hoshing Sha, 2 points that are in the middle of the finger, on the middle finger. These 2 points could treat the heart and also the problems in the stomach. So I said, because both of the organs, the stomach and also the nose, are in the middle of the body, we maybe could use points of the heart to treat the nose. Not only that, there's an image of the hand, where we look at the hand like this way to image the head. So this area treats the forehead, this area of 2203 will treat the eyes, and the middle here for me will treat the nose and the ears. And we know that 2206 and 7 treats the chin. So I said this area, the middle finger, is the heart channel in Master Dong acupuncture. Not only in Master Dong, it's also in the 14 channels. It's the Jue Yin channel that's related to the heart. So I said, wow, maybe I would do the 2 points of the heart, 8801, 8802, in the middle of the thigh, treating the middle. And I'll use also Er Jiaoming 1112. It's a point that influences the inner part of the eyes. Okay, the inner part of the eyes is also the area of the nose. And also, I would use Sancha El. Sancha El is the middle Sancha point. So I added these 3 points. I did the 8801 and 8882 bilateral. And after the first treatment, she came and she said, wow, that made a difference. I already started to smell. And after a few more treatments, her condition improved. Really, it was a very big difference. So what's interesting for me, for these 2 cases, again, is the relationship between points of the heart to treat the nose. Okay, so I think for me it was something new. I never thought of using these points to treat the heart. So I hope these 2 cases were interesting for you. If you have any questions, post them in the comments. That's all for now.